After a bit of a pause, we are back with season 4 of Cleveland Browns franchise here on Madden 25. In terms of this team, it is financially impossible to keep this core together following this season, so it's really now or never for this awesome core of players that we have brought together for this franchise rebuild. We need to win the Super Bowl this year because we're going to start losing players in the offseason. And I had some plans for how I was going to deal with that. But with this rebuild getting roughly about a tenth of the engagement of what I've been getting playing MLB The Show at its launch, it's hard for me to justify continuing the rebuild after this year. So year 4, the final year of this core, will be the final year of our rebuild here. And let's get into it. I don't plan on really spending much time here on the rest of the regular season, as I believe at 9-3 we are very easily playoff bound. If there is a massive matchup down the line, we'll hop into it, but I plan on spending most of my time here in the playoffs. Let's get the episode underway. We kicked the absolute crap out of the Broncos 31-3 here to start the episode off. You got to love it. I mean, 4 touchdowns, no picks for Donald Richardson. He continues to be an MVP candidate, adding 48 yards on the ground even. And Matt Driver was on a tear, and he continues to produce at an elite level, 131 yards and 3 touchdowns on the board for him. Defense-wise, we got a sack from Myles Garrett and 3 from Daniel Gibson. And interceptions, Brian Branch hauls one in for the squad. Great way to start off the episode. New England nearly made a 24-3 comeback, not quite the 28-3 that many will remember. But ultimately, we outlast them here. Another great game from Richardson. Jahmyr Gibbs scores. Wasn't all too, what would you call it, efficient. I don't know why I was struggling to think of that word here. Jerry Jeudy, 6 for 66 and a score, and another awesome game from Matt Driver on an absolute tear. I'm so glad that this Richardson to Driver connection is finally working for us. I just think that's ultimately was kind of like the last step to unlock our offense and make it perform well. And we're seeing the fruits of it here as this season goes along. We're now 11-3. The winning continues here in a blowout victory over the Atlanta Falcons. Richardson threw an interception. I mean, SMH, right? I mean, how could he ever do that? Just kidding. He's been taking such good care of the football this year for us. Drove forward with a score here. We do not get 100 yards out of Matt Driver, but he does add another touchdown onto the board. Meredith was our leading scorer today. Remember when he was just scoring touchdowns all over the place at the start of the year? That was a fun time. Gibson, Owe, JOK, and Emerson on the sack board for us. We got 3 picks, Emerson, Branch, and the interception king, Greg Newsome, getting on the board here picks-wise today. No, we'd pick up a loss against the Buffalo Bills here, 28-14. 213's a little low for Richardson compared to what he's usually doing for us. We just haven't really had a very reliable ground game. We never see Gibbs with honestly all that many rushing yards. But I was hoping to keep the winning streak going all the way to the playoffs. That's our second loss since week 5. That loss is pretty relevant as well because it puts the Chiefs in the 1 seed rather than us. We lost the bye week bid with that game, and so unless the Chiefs lose and we win here in the final week of the season, we will not have a bye week. The verdict is in, and we are not playing football During the bye, we got a 38-7 victory over the Bengals in Week 18, which means the Chiefs must have lost as well, and they did. They choked it away after we tried to choke it away. And after being forced to play on the road in the wild card round for the past couple of seasons, our road to the Super Bowl gets a bit easier with that round 1 bye. Before we hop into playoff action, let's see what our players did this season. And boy, what a season it was for Donald Richardson. So much improvements over previous years. I mean, from 20 interceptions from 16 all the way down to 6, while also having 20 more touchdowns through the air than he's ever had. 600 more yards, roughly 550 is a little bit more accurate there. But what a season it was. Best yards per attempt, best completion percentage. He was so good across the board. Still a threat as a runner. It was his career low in terms of touchdowns, but we're talking about 4, 5, and 6 here. He's always been kind of that 400, 500-yard rusher with around 5 rushing touchdowns, but he's so much better as a passer. Those are looking like MVP numbers to me in Donald Richardson, and his breakout is why the Browns are getting a free week of playoff football to watch on the sidelines as they prepare for the divisional round. Such an awesome player for us this year. Jahmyr Gibbs could not surpass 1,000 yards. Now, he did have an injury. He would have gotten over 1,000 for us had he played all 17 games. But still, I'd say we brought him in because he's the second best rated running back in all of football. And he was under 4.5 yards a carry. He was under 1,000 yards. I'd say this is a disappointing debut season from Jahmyr Gibbs for sure. Matt Driver went on an absolute tear in the second half of the season, ending it with 95 catches, 1,300 yards, and 20 touchdowns. That's definitely going to put him on the map, if not leading the pack for Offensive Player of the Year and Best Wide Receiver. I did look, and he did get beat out by Josh Downs, which same stratosphere with receptions and yards. He just had 24 touchdowns this year. What the heck, man? What the heck? So, unfortunately, he will not win it. I'll leave you in suspense as to whether or not Richardson will win MVP. In terms of our offensive line, Lance Linton, our superstar pass-protecting offensive lineman, by far led us in sacks allowed, which is funny. In terms of defensive, we got some guys that went after the quarterback this year. Both Gibson and Garrett get double-digit sacks for the squad. Owe just 6.5, which is a bit of a decrease. I think it's a decrease. Didn't he have somewhere around 10 last year? Let's quickly check. No, it's actually – okay, it was 2 years ago that he had the 9. So hasn't been as productive. He had a great first year for us, but hasn't been as productive since. And then Mike Hall also not nearly as productive as he was a season ago when he got double-digit sacks for us. In fact, double digits is selling. I'm sure he got 14 sacks. He had been on a bit of a tear. Goes back down this year. Now, he didn't play as much because we had a player playing for him in the base packages, but I don't think that should have impacted his production all that much. 4 sacks for Ben Folds, 2 for JOK. Interceptions-wise, Greg Newsome fell off. He only got 4 interceptions for us this year, tied with Brian Branch and JOK. I thought Branch maybe wasn't as much of a playmaker as I was expecting in his first year with the team. He does a better job getting his hands on the football this season. Overall, that's not the button I meant to press. I meant to press the sort button. And then you had 3 for Emerson, 2 for Edens, just 1 for Ward this season. We've got Isaiah Simmons on the board. Deflections-wise, Brian Branch led us there as well. So just a really good year of getting hands on the football and deflecting balls and intercepting balls for Brian Branch this season. We were great on both sides of the football this year. I think we'll be a tough team to beat, especially now that we have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Let's see what our division week opponent will be. It'll be a divisional matchup here in the divisional rounds. So fitting. The 8-9 Cincinnati Bengals. They ended our win streak with a 1-point loss earlier on in the season, and then we beat them in Week 18 in a very important game for us that sealed home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So we're 1-1 this year. Tiebreaker will be decided here in the divisional round. But before we play that game, I want to make sure our team is playing at full strength. So we got some upgrades from the final few weeks of the season, including 2 upgrades here for Ben Folds. Now the question is, do we try to get that third slot by going to run stopper, or do I get a little bit risky here and go pass coverage? You know, I want that extra superstar ability slot guaranteed with him. So we'll just go to run stopper here. Getting him an extra ability in the playoffs could be really nice. He gets reach elite. I'll take it here for his third ability. Next up on the list, Matt Driver. I mean, what a season. Can you imagine if he had replicated what he did in the second half of the season in the first half? Would he have 30 touchdowns? Absolutely insane stuff from Matt Driver. Let's get him a little bit better after the catch here for these playoffs. And my, oh my, what is that? 4, 6, that's 10 different ratings that were upgraded with that upgrade. That's pretty solid. I imagine he goes up to X Factor at the end of the season, which won't matter for us unless we make it to the Super Bowl, which I'm certainly hoping we will. For Daniel Gibson, let's just make him a 92 overall power rusher, shall we? Get some of that pass rush juice, and he gets power rusher is like the thing that upgraded the least with that, but okay, we'll take it nonetheless. Richardson, up to a 90 overall. Loses his scheme fit. I love it when you upgrade your scheme fit when you are a scheme fit and you still lose your scheme fit. It's like my favorite thing in the entire game. Richardson definitely going up to superstar development at the end of this season here. I think there's very little question about that. The question more is, can he get the double jump up to X Factor? I think that's the question when it comes to Donald Richardson. He will have to be an award winner, I think, to make that happen, but that's definitely not out of the question here. A lot of players here getting some solid upgrades, a lot of our starters across both sides of the ball here. Let's get another ability, kind of the same thinking with Ben Folds. Let's ensure that we get another ability here. He gets no outsider, so if he's ever kind of down in the box and there's an outside zone play, he should be able to come in and fill in and help that at 190 pounds. Tony Stevenson gets up to an 84 overall, getting some clutch offensive line upgrades. Maybe we can run the ball a bit more in the playoffs. Once you get to the postseason, being able to run the ball is certainly going to be a massive help. We'll go slot here for Martin Emerson, since that is, where he plays on our defense. Davidson. Let's go with an elusive back upgrade here. We've been sprinkling him in throughout the season, but I think now that we're in the postseason, I want to be focused as much on Jahmyr Gibbs as we can be. He might not have had the season I was hoping for, but there's no doubt that he is our best running back. So I want to get him pretty much involved in as many of the carries as he can really handle. Now we're getting to the punter upgrade part of the upgrade screen. So not quite as, lucrative as maybe it was before. Let's increase some pass protection. Only 6 sacks allowed for Jeff Beverly, Didn't know what he would be for us because we drafted him with normal dev, but really solid season over there at right tackle, and for these last 3, we'll just do it automatically. We also have a decent amount of coaching points to spend here, and I've been really focusing on getting kind of the head coach stuff upgraded up to this point because those are, the long-term kind of upgrades. But for the playoffs, I just want the flat out ratings boost. And it's really a matter of where do we want to get these boosts. I think getting quarterback boosts would make sense. Getting offensive line boosts makes a lot of sense. Defensively boosting your pass rush, I think, makes a lot of sense. Although to get actual pass rush upgrades, you'd have to get all the way down here. So I don't know how much we'd actually be able to upgrade it. One thing I want to do, I know he had a great season, but let's just get that awareness up for Donald Richardson. Maybe some throw under pressure up as well. Kind of avoid those mistakes. Throw power would be fun, but I don't think that's really a problem of his. Let's get some pass blocking upgraded as well. Maybe some run blocking upgrades. And now we're all the way down to 29, so I don't know if we can even get anything at this point. Let's see. These ones are a little bit... Nope, they aren't cheaper. I thought they were... These are all 32, so we're 3 short here on any additional upgrades. So that's what we did. We boosted the quarterback a bit, and we boosted the offensive line a little bit. We're ready for the Bengals. Let's hop into the divisional round. Taking a look at the matchup here, we beat them in every single category. We were second in points per game this year, fourth in pass yards, eighth in rushing yards. The only one that are even close is they were also top 10 in passing yards. Number 1 defense in terms of points allowed per game, 6th in passing yards allowed, and 3rd in rushing yards allowed. Joe Burrow has gotten the better of us at times and has been with Morgan Quick more than Jamar Chase. So that'll be a matchup to watch out for here in the divisional round. But based on what I'm seeing here, we should absolutely be favored to win. Their offense is rated 1 overall, better than ours, but our defense is 4 overall, higher than our offense, and our offense is 3 overall, higher than their defense. We're the better team at this point in the rebuild. Let's go prove it in the playoffs. There's just nothing quite like playoff football, is there? When everything is all determined in one game, no series, all or nothing. This time around, we get to play in front of our hometown fans. Something we haven't been able to do much in the playoffs so far throughout this series. I hope that'll be a major boon for us here throughout these playoffs, is to have that hometown fans behind us rather than against us for the entire game. The offense has been on a tear, particularly that Richardson driver connection. Can it continue in the postseason? Let's find out. Didn't take long for Morgan Quick to burn us. He already has a 20-yard reception that has the Bengals in Cleveland territory. A quick throw out to the flat. Picks up 7 for Jamar Chase, taking advantage of that very soft coverage over on the perimeter. And the Browns are making the adjustment this time, coming out pressing. Play action. Burrow. He's going to get tracked down. Daniel Gibson with the sack on Joe Burrow. Takes it from 2nd and 3 back to 3rd and 11. Burrow throws well short of the sticks, and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah there to track him down instantly. So the defense allows the Bengals into our territory, but does offense for Cleveland moving in chunks. 3 straight plays of at least 19 yards, the middle one was 12, but 3 straight double-digit yards on passing plays here for Cleveland. Has them in Cincinnati territory. Richardson, MVP candidate this season. Can his success translate here into the postseason as well? That was a very impressive 4-yard run from Jahmyr Gibbs. There was a ton of traffic there. Give right back to him. Is up the middle. Just 2 yards this time out. So third down once more from the 30-yard line. Definitely within field goal range here. Though you never know with the new kicking sliders we have. Wide open is the rookie Starkey in the flat. Didn't get heavily involved this season. But with this being Njoku's final year, he'll be much more heavily featured in year 2. From the 21 now, 5 minutes left in the first half. It's play action. Richardson, all the time in the world. Touchdown. David Njoku. Deep down over the middle. An excellent play call by Cleveland. And the offense looked good in the regular season this year. Looks good on their opening drive in the divisional round. Cincy going for the answer here as the first quarter is now under a minute. Pitch to Brooks and Brian Branch, They're on the tackle, loss of 1, and this is a massive injury for Cincy. He's been a Cleveland killer every time we've watched the game against Cincinnati in this rebuild. Honestly, maybe the second most important player on their team for when we watch these games. Burrow to Brooks. He gets by the initial push from Cleveland's defensive line, and there was no second level there to speak of. But back-to-back Bengals injuries is a rough scene. It's allowed this first quarter to be extended, though, with injury timeouts. Dropped on the play there. After a nice hit right as the ball arrived by the defensive back. Play action, RPO more like, and it's off the hands of the tight end there, Washington. That'll bring up 3rd and 10. Can we force them into a field goal attempt? Burrow over the middle, and it's tipped away. Ben Folds getting his hand in the passing lane. Once again, we allow them into our territory, but we stiffen up once we get there. We just had that one poor run defense play. Other than that, defense looked good in our territory. A little bit of bend, don't breakage we're seeing from the defense so far. Oh, no. Richardson throws a pick on 3rd down. Jordan Battle with the interception. Tough look on the second drive. Cincy trying to turn it into points and potentially even take the lead now. Joe has it intercepted right back on the very next drive. Folds returns it to the 39, and so back-to-back interceptions by these superstar quarterbacks. Playoff football is about playing good defense and trying to limit turnovers on the other end. Both teams doing the defensive part right now. We've gotten some pretty decent consistency on the ground game so far, and it's helped us get into Cincy territory again. Not nearly as many yards on that attempt, just 2. Felt like he could have had more, but he tried to stretch it out instead of just going uphill. That one's in the same to Jerry Jeudy. That puts Richardson over 100 yards here in the first half. You love a good divisional game in the playoffs. Things can get really chippy. It's just so fun. Richardson instantly evading as he got the snap there and finding Jeudy again. Back-to-back plays on the inbreaker this time. Inside the 10 now to the 6. Gibbs in the backfield with Richardson. He's going to take it up the middle, scrambling for a touchdown. His second of the day. 1 through the air, 1 through the ground. 2 touchdowns and a pick. You get the highs and the lows. It's reminding me all the way back to his rookie season, except, of course, the highs are much more frequent these days with Donnie Richardson. The Browns with a chance to extend their first half lead after the defense got a couple of stops here. With under a minute left, Meredith is going to be tackled in bounds there. At that point, just run out of bounds, man. Yeah, 2 defenders there. Just preserve the timeout. Instead, we're working with just 1 remaining. Richardson, incomplete over the middle. Been a couple times that, like, right after the snap, he just kind of instantly gets jittery feet. Don't know what's going on with that. Blitz coming. Judy hauls it in and gets it down to the 16. Also, importantly, getting it out of bounds. It's been an excellent Jerry Judy game. His 5th catch of the first half. Richardson. Clean pocket. He steps up in it. He's taken off. He slides down after a gain of 8. That's going to take off a ton of clock here. So likely be the final play before a field goal attempt potentially, but it's not going to get there. Njoku hauls in his 2nd touchdown. This game has been more of one for the OG Browns, with Njoku and Jerry Judy both showing out in the pass game. 2 of the only Browns, I think, remaining that were on the base roster apart from Teller at right guard. Browns also get the ball here to start the second half, and a touchdown here wouldn't put the game away, but it would certainly make life extremely difficult on the Bengals. Would force them to play perfectly down the stretch to really have a chance. Back-to-back, no gains. Now all of a sudden, Gibbs' rushing stats aren't looking as good. He had a good start. Things have certainly slowed down since. Play action on 3rd and 10. That'll get him. And there's a pick. That was just an awful play call. Let me guess. It was 4 verts on 3rd and 10. The literal only play in Madden's playbook on 3rd and anything double digits. His 2nd pick here of the divisional round. I mean, 6 picks all year for Richardson, but 2 here in the playoff, in his first playoff game. That's a little rough to see. Going back to his first couple of seasons in the NFL with that kind of stuff. That play was just a mess by Cincinnati. Couldn't even tell who Joe Burrow was throwing it to. They were both wide open. Just take an extra half second to let them separate a bit. Burrow. Check down again. This time we were all over the underneath routes. That'll bring up 3rd and 9. Play clock winding down. Burrow. He's going to target a man. How does Newsome not make a play on that ball? He was literally blanketing him, and he just didn't go for the ball at all. Look at this. That should have been an easy just... Did he not know it was coming? I don't get how Newsome didn't get at least a PBU, if not an interception there. I thought we had that one in the bag for sure. Instead, it's a 3rd and 9 conversion. Burrow pressured, throwing over the middle into some traffic. Incomplete. 5 defenders at the line of scrimmage for the Browns defense here on 2nd down. Joe Burrow over the middle and broken up. Intended for Jamar Chase. We're playing some pretty physical coverage here. I like it. Double A gap blitz look here on 3rd down. We drop out of it. Underneath, there's a sea of bodies there, and they kind of slowed Higgins down. Or else I think he had it. That was some weird coverage by us, but it forces Cincinnati to 3, which will keep us to a 2-touchdown lead here as we are into the second half of the 3rd quarter. 3rd quarter, 90 seconds left. Cleveland once again driving. That is an excellent pass design there. I think it was an RPO, but a really nice block from Matt Driver. Springs Jerry Judy for a big gain. Love the design. Richardson going deep. Nearly had another interception. I don't know what this dude's doing. with the football in this game. I mean, I get being aggressive, but can we like find some open receivers, please? I don't need you to match your season total and intercept. And he did it again. What is wrong with Donald Richardson right now, dude? You had 6 interceptions all year, and you're just throwing it to the defenders this game. What's going on, man? This game should be over. He keeps choking it away, or at least keeping Cincinnati alive. Burrow and the Bengals are driving now with a chance to make it somehow a one-score game. I can't believe Richardson's playing so terribly right now. How does Burrow get away from that? You have to bring him down there, dude. What is going on with this game right now? Burrow finds a target there. Morgan Quick. Not too injured as he's back in the game. Has been for a little bit, to be fair. Burrow finding Quick again for a quick completion of 7 yards. At the 12, Joe Burrow is in the zone. Burrow has all the time. Our pass rush did absolutely nothing there. Luckily, he was only able to find a check down. 3rd and 1. Can the defense do it again? Although I think this might be 4-down territory for the Bengals. Burrow. All day to throw again. What is with this pass rush, man? I mean, we have more people sitting on their backs than we have applying the slightest amount of pressure on the quarterback. Burrow. Touchdown. It's a one-score game. Donald Richardson does not want to advance in the playoffs with how he's playing right now. I swear, bro, if Donald Richardson throws an interception this drive, I'm uninstalling the game. In fact, I mean, I'll be probably uninstalling the game after I finish this episode anyway. But what a terrible end to his season and this series this would be, him choking so hard like this after an MVP caliber season. We're under 6 minutes left. 3rd down and 3. Richardson has a wide open Njoku crossing the field. 250 and 3 touchdowns. Those 3 picks looking real ugly right now. Richardson. What are you doing right now, dude? Can you have like some sort of semblance at all for ball protection? At all? What a blown coverage by the Bengals. Meredith wide open. Down the sideline. Was that cover 2 introvert? I think it might have been. Cover 2 introvert comes back and rears his ugly head again. What a terrible coverage in this game. Pick 6. Guess who? It's Greg Newsome. That will be the game sealing pick 6, as well as hard as Donald Richardson tried to keep the Cincinnati season alive in this game, it felt like, in these middle quarters. The Cleveland Browns will advance to the conference championship with a 35-13 victory over the Bengals. It seems like we've just been playing the same teams. You know, when I started this rebuild, I thought maybe we'd be seeing the Browns in the playoffs. The Bills in the playoffs and some of these other teams. It's just been our division rivals in Kansas City. That's been it for the entire time. And there's a really good shot we'll be facing Kansas City again here in the conference championship. We're 1-1 against them so far in the playoffs. We need a tiebreaker, but again, we'll see if they even make it. It will not be the Chiefs. Instead, the Chargers will be the ones we face here in the AFC title game. Once again, we outranked them in pretty much everything. They were not above 15 in any of these categories, yet somehow they find themselves a game away from making the Super Bowl, but not if we have anything to say about it. Let's beat Justin Herbert and the Chargers. We'll have the hometown crowd behind us once more for the final time this season. Will it lead the Browns to a Super Bowl berth? Looking like that Harbaugh move with Los Angeles is working out at coach, while Stefanski's still leading the helm here in Cleveland for what has become a loaded roster that's now one game away from playing for the Lombardi. And we get this game started off with a bang, an opening drive interception for Kalen Bullock. Defense coming up and making a play. It's now time for the offense to capitalize. Their first possession starts at the Los Angeles 33. Gibbs with the handoff. He's going nowhere. Loss of 2 on the first offensive play of the game. These outside runs that you'd think would work really well with Gibbs, just unfortunately kind of rarely do. Fake the give to Gibbs here on second down. Richardson, he's going to take off. He'll gain almost half the yards back, leading to a 3rd and 7. You don't want to turn an interception into a 3 and out. We got to come up with something here. Donnie Rich taking off again. This time the defense was ready for it. I mean, he didn't give that play a chance. He just took off immediately, which has been something he was doing last week too. He just looks super uncomfortable here. I don't know what's going on with the man. 48-yard attempt here for the rookie Whalen. It is up. And it is good for the first points of the ballgame. LA now on the move a little bit here in their second drive. Just past the 50-yard line here, and they'll give the ball for a big loss. Isaiah Simmons filling in there. Who is injured? Is it Brian Branch? Did he get injured in practice this week? That's pretty unfortunate, but good thing we signed a veteran there because we wouldn't want to rely on one of our 65 overalls. 3rd and 4. Herbert has a man. It's Josh Palmer. Gets another catch in traffic. Some of these plays, man, our DBs are right there. Oh, no, he didn't make the play. I need to pay more attention. That totally looked like a catch there. Instead, the defense gets the stop. Let's go. Denzel Ward coming up big. We got another turnover. Now, unfortunately, it wouldn't tell me if it was a fumble or an interception. I'm just going to go ahead and guess that it was a Donald Richardson interception. There was like a penalty on the same play as the turnover. So it showed me what the penalty was instead of the actual turnover. But turnovers continue to plague our offense here. Our defense has been balling out, and the offense has its moments, but geez, man, can we just hold on to the freaking football, please? Herbert getting pressured, losing the ball, and now it's our turn to get the turnover forced by Gibson, picked up by Gibson, and I thought he might have been able to get around Justin Herbert there. That would have been an insane play had he been able to house it, but the defense getting the ball back for our offense. And I actually want to see, let's see if we go into, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for stats. Richardson threw another pick, didn't he? Yeah. What's up with this man in the playoffs? What is that now? 4 in the playoffs when he had 6 in 17 games. Insane stuff. Been a lot of turnovers in the playoffs so far. I wonder if there was an update to Madden that just made turnovers crazy. From the 18, Richardson has a check down to Jahmyr Gibbs. Only 31 passing yards so far. It's just, I mean, is Richardson just not meant for the bright lights? I don't know what's going on here. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me, right? There's no way he's playing this terrible. I don't understand how. What's going on? Did Madden make just like the worst update in the history of its updates for no freaking reason? All right, we got a first and goal opportunity off of a 36-yard pass to Jahmyr Gibbs. Wonder if that was a Texas route or some sort of wheel route, maybe even a screen that went big. A lot of defenders right at the line of scrimmage for the Chargers. I don't know why you'd run at that, but that's what we decided to do. That's not a formation defensively that I'm like, yeah, let's do a run play. Back-to-back runs that did absolutely nothing for us. I'm like in that mode where any small thing's going to annoy me because the interceptions are annoying me so much that anything that happens is going to be annoying. Richardson diving into the end zone for a rushing touchdown. We lead 10-0. It was but a sloppy game. Both of these top-tier quarterbacks have 2 turnovers already. I'm not surprised I'm going to be done with Madden here after this episode. I'm not sad about it. Chargers. Yet to put anything on the board yet. Due to some turnovers on their side as well. Have it in Cleveland territory once more. They get a nice completion there. Second and short. Man in motion for LA. Herbert with the give, and breaking through the line of scrimmage is Daniel Gibson. You know, as unfun as our quarterback has been to watch at times this episode, and I've complained about it, I apologize. I try not to be too negative. Our defense has been incredibly fun to watch so far. I've enjoyed it a lot. 3rd and 3, Herbert. Pocket collapsing, and if JOK was looking at the quarterback instead of his man, that could have been a pick 6. Instead, it'll be 4th and 3, and the Chargers will try to get their first points on the board via 55.5-ish yard field goal here. They'll call it 56 officially, and it is no good, giving the Browns excellent field position. Following the 2-minute warning now from the 38-yard line. Back to pass. Richardson trying to... What is this guy doing, man? What is going on in Donald Richardson's head? I get there was a blitz, but you didn't need to instantly go right, and then the screenplays in this game are awful. What happened to the offense that was so fun to watch? Third and 17. Wow, we didn't run 4 verticals. Richardson, he's going to get there. Let's go, man. Richardson doing more damage with his legs than with his arms so far. Sometimes it can't always be pretty in the playoffs. And I just got to accept that. Timeout here after the pickup of 7. That'll be the first Chargers timeout to Cleveland. And what happened to this update that all of a sudden the home team in every game just loses their logo? I thought he threw another pick in on that play. Instead, he threw in a touchdown to Njoku, his 3rd postseason touchdown. He's on a run in his last season in Cleveland. He's making the most of it here. David Njoku. Been such a good player for us the entirety of this rebuild. 17-0 at the half, and now the offense trying to extend the lead. Read option. That was maybe the easiest give read I've ever seen in my life. I don't know why you keep that ball right there. The CPU definitely needs to do a better job of reading read option at times. There are some really bad ones that I've seen at times here in Madden 25. There's one that they always give that they should definitely keep because all the blocking is going towards a keep. But I've never actually seen the quarterback keep it on that one. We get the third down conversion to Matt Driver. There you go. Wide receiver 1 coming on clutch to keep this drive going. Richardson. I mean, I'll take the checkdowns over the interceptions all day long. Especially when you're in a position like we are right now. From this point forward, we play mistake-free football. Oh my goodness gracious. What was the blocking right there? How does he get through before the mesh point even completes, dude? Did they nerf option plays? It's been so long since I've played that this game feels so different than the last time I hopped on and played Madden right now. Like a completely different ball game. We do get a field goal to open up the second half, though. That's nice. Chargers still seeking to get that 0 off the scoreboard here. We've passed the midway point of the third quarter. Herbert. Gain of 7 over the middle on a sit-down route. That puts the ball at the 32-yard line. The give is... I forget the name of that running back. He's a generated player. Our defense has done a pretty good job keeping him under wraps in this game. Third and 3. A lot of people at the line of scrimmage there for Cleveland. It's going to be an interception that's going to get called back. I don't know if it's going to be a pass interference. Might be a roughing the passer. Pass interference. That's a pretty terrible call. But it is what it is. I don't know why they considered that a change of possession. I mean, it was with the interception, but then it got called back via penalty, so it wasn't. But all good. That big-time penalty wipes off a turnover and gives them the ball at the 11-yard line. The receiver had, like, no chance of catching that ball. I don't know why it was called for PI. Maybe the PI made it so the receiver had no chance to catch the ball. Herbert. The give. And trying to sift through traffic, but there's just not much there. Shepard gains 3. Third and 6 from the 7. Chargers likely to get points here, but just how many? It will be a touchdown. A little bit of boo birds from the crowd. I guess they wanted to keep the shutout going. But Justin Herbert's a man that's it's hard to keep down forever. Chargers now trying to make it a one-score ball game again. We were in a similar position last round when the defense tightened up and didn't let it happen. Offense forced to punt after we did the good old Madden traditional 2nd and 15 run that kind of ended our drive after a first down sack. So we pretty much just gave the Chargers a chance to get back in it, and that's exactly what they do. Getting beat there by Bob Elliott for a long score. Bullock there on the defense could not keep up with them, and then I don't know if he was trying to cut off the pass or something, ended up taking a bad angle on the tackle and letting them score. It's a 6-point ball game. We just went 3 and out. I mean, can our offense be any worse right now, man? What is up with this team, dude? Top 10 in like every category that there is. And now all of a sudden, if our defense can't come up with something here, we're going to be trailing. First and 10 from the 39. Crowded backfield for Los Angeles. They'll go with a deep play action drop back, and you got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me right now. No pass rush to be spoken of whatsoever from this highly paid offensive line. And just like that, this is a tie ball game, folks. Justin Herbert throws an absolute frozen rope up the seam. And unless our offense decides that they actually want to play winning football for the first time in this second half, we're going to fall short of the Super Bowl. Let's see how this one plays out. Richardson needs to play like the quarterback he's been playing like all season long. We start with a gain of 4 there to Jerry Jeudy. Why can't I skip these? Like, I don't care what the Chargers season ranking takeaways was and what they are doing right now. Can I just please keep the simulation going? First down completion to Matt Driver. Read option. Tons of space for Richardson. I think if he went more upfield and less wide, he could have gotten a few more yards out of that one, but honestly, not all that much of a difference probably. Another read option. Another keeper for Richardson. This time he does go upfield. A little bit risky there. Not going down on the slide. But it's Richardson's legs. That's been his best attribute here so far in the postseason. Almost threw another interception, dude. Like, can you just actually see if a receiver is open before you throw him the ball? Like, I don't understand what he's been doing. He just does not care. Even that play, man, I'm kind of speechless. And then he gets sacked on 3rd and 10. Our superstar pass protecting specialist offensive lineman just gets absolutely toasted. And we're going to punt the ball down by 1 because it's 4th and 14. And we don't even get a good punt. We can't end it like this, man. To a Chargers team that literally was not above average at anything. Anything. This is the most average, bland team in football this year, and they're about to make the Super Bowl because our offense played like dog crap. And then our defense, all of a sudden, in the second half, can't do anything but allow Justin Herbert to pass for touchdowns. We led 17-0 at half. We led 20-0 after the first drive of the fourth quarter. Third and 9. We better get a stop here. Herbert. All the time in the world. No pass rush whatsoever again. What are we doing? We have Myles Garrett, Daniel Gibson, Mike Hall, and Jason Owe, and they might as well not even be playing football right now. Second and 4. All out of timeouts here. How can you not get a stop on 1 3rd and 9 with this caliber of defense, dude? Clean pocket again, game over. The season is done. The series is done. I was really hoping to end this series on a positive note, but Madden had other ideas, I guess. Losing in the AFC Championship to the Chargers is how this Browns series will end. Unfortunately, it'll be considered a failure of a rebuild on my end. I did have some plans. It involved getting younger and cheaper in the secondary ahead of the 5th season. I think this is a really good DB draft. But we led 20-0. We led 20-0 in this game. Richardson, He's going to win MVP. I'll just say that now. I mean, I was hoping to like have it be something that we could celebrate with the Super Bowl, but he did not play like an MVP in the playoffs. He just had zero care at all with protecting the football. Our defense created some turnovers too. Ultimately, I think they played good, but they did not finish this game well. And that's going to do it for Cleveland Browns, my franchise rebuild. I'm sorry, guys. I thought we had it. 20-0 lead. And we blew it. And I'm not making more videos of this game. I don't want to play Madden. I have zero desire to play Madden right now. Normally, I love football rebuilds and I love Madden, but I'm having so much more fun playing baseball right now. And so that will wrap it up for me in Madden 25. I can't even commit to playing Madden 26 at this moment because I feel like this year I got to choose between NCAA and Madden. And I don't know what I'm going to choose at this point. So ultimately a failed rebuild here of the Cleveland Browns. 4 years, could not get it done. We were knocking on the doorstep. Just anything but an utter total collapse away from making the Super Bowl here. But the team just totally fell on its face in the second half in this game. And we were sent home packing. Next offseason, we're going to lose Njoku. We're going to lose our starting center, Gleason. We're probably going to trade away Denzel Ward and Brian Branch. Maybe even Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah and Daniel Gibson. Because Daniel Gibson had no desire to re-sign with us. So maybe getting ahead of it and getting a draft pick back, a high draft pick. I had plans to kind of enter a new phase of the Browns rebuild. But yeah, that's just not going to happen. As Fiend franchise will officially retire as general manager of the Cleveland Browns without winning a title. Tough scene. I hope you enjoyed the Browns rebuild nonetheless. I'm sorry that this final episode took so long to get out, and I'm sorry that it ended on such a sad note, but what can I do? CPU versus CPU, man. So you can't control it. You can't predict it sometimes. That's me signing off. Hopefully, most of you are enjoying Pirates franchise right now. If you haven't checked it out, please go do so. We are having a ton of fun here at the start of it. That's all I've got here. Go Browns.